Shut up and sit down.
Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello everyone, I'm Sam, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs, and you are listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. It's a rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. I'm live from the fabulous Las Vegas, and today I'm talking about this year's highlights and what's driving the growth of the pet industry, and so much more. So stay right there.
Let's bring on the host, Sam, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs.
Hi everyone, I'm so glad you're here today. I cannot believe that this is the last year. Not the last year. That sounds terrible. It sounds like this is the last show of the year, and it falls on New Year's Eve. I mean, talk about perfect timing. Well, before we get into the show, I actually want to make a dedication. I want to dedicate this show to a special little boy. His name is Mr Binx, and happens to be part of my sister's family. Yesterday, Mr Binx went over the Rainbow Bridge, and it's a place where pets go once they pass, and they're no longer in pain and are happy and free. Mr Binx came from a Crufts champion, and his full name was Carwood's step to stardom, Mr Jar Jar Binks, and for short, that was Little Boy. He was 16 years old, the star of the family, and we'd like to toast Mr Binx. Thank you, Mr Binx, for all your unconditional love and happiness you gave to Lee, Robert, Lauren, and Sophie, and everyone who was lucky enough to meet you. You'll always be loved, never forgotten, and you'll live on forever in our hearts.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
So that was my dedication to Mr. Binx. He was a cute 16-year-old, and I don't know many pets that actually live to that ripe old age, and I think that's wonderful that he lived to be 16, and what an impact any pet makes on your life, whether you've had them for a short period of time or, like in Mr. Binx's case, 16 years. Okay, on with the show. So, like I said, it's the last show of the year on New Year's Eve, and wow, it's kind of a time for reflection. I think I enjoy the end of the year. I look back, see how fantastic it was. I only like to look at the bright side, and look forward to the next year. So, I thought we would start the show with a piece of good news. Why not? Good news is good. So, Lansing, Michigan. Have you ever been there, Jim?
I've been to many places in Michigan, but I don't remember Lansing. Lansing is, they make cars or trucks there somewhere. That's a big, used to be a big making town.
I've never been.
I know, you've never been to Michigan.
There's always time. Well, they had a package of bills intended to keep pets away from known animal abusers, and it was signed into law on Wednesday by Lieutenant Governor Brian Cayley. And the bills passed the legislature with strong bipartisan support in December. And the bills allow Michigan animal shelters to conduct a criminal background check using the Internet Criminal History Access tool, they call it iChat, and determine whether someone has a criminal history of animal abuse before allowing adoption of an animal. And earlier versions of the bills would have required a criminal background check, but the legislation was watered down during the recent lame duck sessions. And after abuse, you can get a second chance with new beak. What does that mean? Oh, I did not read that properly at all. that should not have been in there. That made zero sense. So let's go back. But the legislation was watered down during the recent lame duck sessions. That's hilarious that was even in there. An animal control shelter or animal protection shelter may consider an individual's criminal history. They should, when deciding whether to allow that individual to adopt an animal. And it says House Bill 4353, sponsored by Representative Harvey Santana, Detroit. And they say they may choose not to allow an individual who has been convicted of animal abuse offence to adopt an animal unless a period of at least 5 years has elapsed since the date of his or her conviction. People who listen to my show, you know exactly what I think about that. What do I think about that, Jim?
I think you think,
Yeah, I think there should be no considerations, period. Anyway, I think it's a very good start, though. The other bill in the package is HB 4355, and that one was dubbed the Logan's Law, which I am very familiar with, after a March 12 incident in which a Wales Township husky named Logan was blinded by an acid burn. And the dog, unfortunately, died a few months later. So these laws are important. These laws are very important. And even if, we get started with something, and it may not be perfect, I've said it many times before, I prefer progress over perfection. And I think that's a great piece of news coming out of Michigan there.
I don't want to, while you're on the subject of Michigan, there was a news story just a couple of days ago last week about Michigan as well.
And what was it?
The Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals made a ruling on police justification for shooting dogs during raids, when they raid homes. So
they're justified in just shooting.
Anytime the dog moves or barks.
Whoa, that's horrible.
The Sixth Circuit Court in Michigan and several other states have upheld similar laws, because there was a case just recently when the police shot 2 dogs on a raid.
I do not like
to hear that.
The
dogs were not aggressive. They were barking. They were noisy. They were running away.
And of course they're going to react that way. You're coming into their home, and sometimes you come into their home and they're you're in the wrong home. That happens as well.
Well, it's for the that kind of balances out the good in Michigan, because I'm not really pleased with.
No.
I heard that the other day, and I just looked it up real quick when you brought up the Michigan topic.
No.
And yeah, it's
not impressed by that.
The courts will protect the cops, and they'll listen to. Basically, if the cop says, "Oh, that dog barked at me," then they're justified, because there have been police departments losing lawsuits over shooting family pets.
Oh, so this is so they don't lose lawsuits? So they can't bring one?
Well,
wow.
Apparently so. But
not happy about that. I must admit, Jim, it concerns me. I mean, what if you've got your dog in your car, yeah? A lot of people don't restrain the dogs in the car. Say you get pulled over for speeding, your dog's in the car. I mean, what kind of situation can you find yourself in there as well? Especially if your dog's not restrained in the car and secure. I mean, can you find yourself in that situation as well? I mean, that would really scare me, because you and I know my dogs bark at anybody walking past the car. They would just be put in danger because they're being dogs? I mean, that's scary.
Right.
That is really scary. I'm not happy with that.
An attorney says that the case set an objectively unreasonable standard for dogs who end up in the line of fire. Gives the police complete upper hand whenever they raid someone's house.
What kind of response have they had from that?
And someone said the greatest dog trainer in the world will not be able to keep a dog still and silent in the case of a dynamic entry like the police busting in someone's house.
Yeah, what are they expecting? I don't like that.
I'm sure this is all born out of raiding drug houses and things, and crack houses and things like that, where they, the people are just, less than desirable. But however,
it's not right.
Yeah,
I don't like that at all. That's good. That's taking a step backwards.
You got to live a good life, and you got to not give people reason to break into your house too. You know what I mean? You got to.
Terrible. Yeah,
not
impressed.
My head's not really around it.
So there I was being all like, "Yay, great law coming out of Michigan."
Yay.
It's funny because those laws they then don't align, do they, Jim? One's saying, "Yeah, we value animals," then the other one says, "No, we don't." That's really what it is, and that's really. That annoys me. I'm not even giving it another thought, because I'm going to follow up on that. I hope that... Can they appeal those kind of things? How does that work?
Yeah, it goes up the court system. It goes as high up as it can, then it gets kicked back.
Well, I hope it does. I really hope it. We'll follow up on that. I'm not happy about that. Not impressed in the slightest. I wonder if there's been any kind of, statement made by Animal Legal Defense Fund. Maybe I'll check their website too and see what their opinion is on that. I'm sure it's the same, But no, I'm not impressed with that at all. So yeah, I was impressed. Now I'm not impressed. Ugh, terrible.
I'm sending you that link so you
Thank
can
you.
research it.
I appreciate that. Well, there is some other good news, believe it or not. There is some other good news, and this was sent to me by a friend of mine, Eddie, and it was part of a newsletter he gets on investments. And it says, the title of it was Investing in Our Furry Friends, and it's from Malden Economics, and it was written by Patrick Watson. And it says, we Americans love our pets. Well, that's anybody, but it was written for American audience. We Americans love our pets almost as much as our children. Well, I don't know. Might be the same. My wife and I became empty nesters this year, but we still have 2 dogs, 2 cats, and some itinerant. I don't know that word. Itinerant raccoons and armadillos, which technically aren't pets, but they seem to think they are. More and more Americans seem to prefer pets to children, and the resulting demographic trend has massive economic and investment implications. The numbers are startling and affect everyone, whether you are a parent, a pet owner, neither or both. They're also an investment opportunity that you might look into in 2017. And while the memories of the Great Recession may be fading, the effects are still very much with us. Among other places, the impact shows up in demographic data. And what do I like, Jim?
You love data.
I love stats.
Analytics and stats.
I do. I don't know why.
It's your thing.
But last summer, he said he ran across some fascinating analysis by University of New Hampshire sociologist Kenneth M. Johnson, and he found that the U.S. fertility levels dropped sharply beginning in 2008, which was the recession, have yet to recover. They have not improved since 2008. That's 8 years. All those babies we didn't have add up to a big number. Professor Johnson calculated that if births had continued at the pre-recession rate, Americans would have had 3.4 million additional babies in the last 8 years. He found no evidence to suggest that this trend changed in 2016. So the total is likely near 4 million by now. This happened even though the number of women of childbearing age actually increased during this period. It's no mystery why people who are experiencing economic and financial difficulty are less likely to have children. Yeah, that's usually the case. The missing babies have a macroeconomic effect. All those jobs that would have been created in hospital maternity wards and eventually daycare centers, kindergartens, and public schools are not materializing. And then there's the billions of dollars that aren't spent on baby food, diapers, and clothes. Plus, sometime around 2025, we may start noticing fewer new workers entering the labor force. This plunge of birth rates is not a new phenomenon, by the way. Contrary to what many people believe, the developed world has been on the fast track to population decline at least since the 1970s, a trend visible in many countries from Germany to Japan. However, even without children, the primal human urge to care and nurture has to find an outlet, which is where our furry friends come in. I think that's the biggest statement there, is people still feel this need to care for, look after, and it is a good feeling when you do that. So if you're not having kids, pets will definitely fill that need. And it's called a recession-proof industry. I will attest to that. I've seen it grow every single year for the last 10, 11 years. For many people, pets serve as a less expensive, I'm not sure about that, and less burdensome substitute for children. I don't know about that, because you worry about them too. And a vet visit can be rather expensive, can't it, Jim? Like we just...
Oh, boy.
What's the last one?
$500 after all is said and done for a checkup.
No, it wasn't a checkup. It was so much more
and
than
medicine, and a shot.
And blood work and, many things. for Miss Galaxy. She's worth every penny and more. It says, just get an idea. You get an idea just how much Americans adore their pets when you walk into PetSmart and you see how much people spend on animal food, beds, and toys. Yeah, our biggest expense is food. It really underneath going to the vet, which we don't go that often, which is good. We usually go for normal checkups. He says himself is a prime example. His little dog Chloe consumes fuzzy rubber balls at an astonishing rate. Every few days, I bring out a new one. We play fetch. Then she either hides it or chews it to pieces. Then I have to buy more. I buy dog toys just like young parents buy pacifiers and sippy cups. And pets do make our life better, but they definitely aren't free. According to the American Pet Products Association, U.S. consumers will spend $62.75 billion on pet food, supplies, and services this year. Oh, yeah. Even more interesting is the growth curve in pet spending. It's been rising at the same time as human birth rates have been falling. The APPA data shows that pet spending in 2007, before the Great Recession, was $41.2 billion. That means the market has grown over 50% since then, far faster than most other sectors of our sluggish economy. Furthermore, pet spending has grown steadily every year for more than 2 decades. You would think people cut back on pet expenses in recessions, but amazingly, that's not the case. It's that caring instinct again. Just as parents put their children's needs ahead of their own, many pet owners will tighten their own budget in order to provide for their animals. That's not crazy, by the way. Recessions are tough. And he said, I know my dogs and cats helped me through some dark times. However much we spend on them, they always give back more. And that's definitely the case. We've seen... when we first got into the pet industry with our clothing line, Vegas Rock Dog, and that was just for dogs, and then eventually for the humans, we were kind of in at the point where clothing was like a new thing, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Yeah,
you
were like kind of seeing like a specialty aisle in stores, like a little
yeah
side thing.
Yeah, you didn't see much, so we got in at a very, very good time. Whereas now it's, for example, it's winter and people are buying coats, and it's normal. You buy your coats. If you're going up into the mountains of the snow, which we're hoping to do at some point, believe it or not, 45 minutes away, and we're in the mountains, we're in the snow up at Mount Charleston, my pets will need to have some boots. Not fashion boots. They're just going to have those really cool ones you pull on. It's one piece, and it's just to protect their feet, because you don't know what's under the snow. You don't know if they've put salt out there. You don't know if they put de-icer out there. You don't want that in their paws. But that's something I was just, we need to buy some boots for them. Simple as that. And they need their coats because they're not used to the snow. These are desert dogs. They're used to, high temperatures. So these things have become normal, and what I think is in this article is really about, look at what kind of things you can invest in the pet industry, because it's not going away. And I think next year, I think we're going to see an explosion because of the pet food industry. One of our guests, and this was one of the highlights of the year, was talking to the director of Petfold, the documentary Petfold, and with Cole Harrington. It's going to be like the Blackfish, the Cove of pet nutrition, where it launches on, I'm going to say, the 10th of January, even though I've seen it already. Privileges of having a radio show. And the fact that, how can you talk about it unless you've seen it? It's going to be that big eye-opener. And that I've seen the trend this year. I've seen it grow. I'm seeing a trend. I think it's an amazing thing. Better food, fresh food, raw diets, wanting to do the best you can for your pets, worried about what's really in commercial pet food. And so I think this movie is going to do that. But I also think that's where we're going to see a massive explosion in the pet food industry from your smaller independent companies who are putting out better quality foods and that are healthier for our pets. I think that's going to be massive. So not that I know much about investing, but if, for example, say the Honest Kitchen, which is what we feed right now, for example, if they opened it up to investors, I'd be interested, wouldn't you, Jim?
I am interested. Why are you looking at me like
Don't
that?
you have stage fright?
I don't know. It's like you had.
I was just looking at you like
and you expected me to answer a certain way, and I was shocked into like blankness.
I thought you were just going to say some more.
No.
Do you know much about investing?
Not really.
All I know is that I've got some Tiffany shares. That's all I know.
I know that
they were a gift.
I know that we chose to invest in real estate about 10 years ago.
It's painful.
And it's just hard work.
Yeah, we're hoping not to be landlords, this coming year. So if anybody wants to buy a house in Texas or in, where's our other house?
Charlotte.
Then.
Well, the house in Texas is for sale in 2017.
Yeah.
The house in Charlotte will be for sale in 2018.
Yeah.
That's the plan anyhow.
That's the plan. Ooh, yeah, it's a little painful, but they've kind of been our only investments. But I do see pet food being a big one. I really, really do. As I say, this documentary, petfood.com is the website. Head on over there and watch it. It's even if you're someone like me, you know a lot about pet foods. Yeah, when you see it all in one documentary, yeah, you're going to come away and just be like, who was that making that funny noise? Which dog was that? We have other co-hosts in the studio every single week. Miss Galaxy, Miss Thornton, and Mr. Twix, and they're very good. We come in the studio and we go showtime, and they come running into the studio and they get in the beds and they just relax, and they're so good. So if you do hear the odd little bark or whatever, that's what happens. It's a pet show. On that note, Jim, let's take a quick break. Listen to some words from our lovely sponsors, and when we come back, we've got more to talk about. So stay right there.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
At Carl's Jr., not only do we make you happy with our delicious charbroil burgers, but we also make your dogs happy. When you come through our drive-thru with your furry friend, we'll offer your dog a treat. If not, always ask for one. We love to see their smiling faces. Our website, carlsjroflasvegas.com, has a treat for its customers too, with free coupons anytime, so be sure to visit us regularly. Carl's Jr. is a proud and active supporter of dog adoption in our community. You can find us at Carl's Jr. of Las Vegas or on Twitter at Carl's Jr. of Vegas.
Pet Scene Magazine is dedicated to Las Vegas pets and the people who love them. It's a source of news and information for pet lovers, as well as offering valuable coupons and specials on pet products and services. Find them online at www.lvpetscene.com or look for them on Facebook.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. If you want to find us on the internet, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr. Where else are we?
MySpace books.
No. No, not.
Do they have MySpace book?
It's still like, can you believe that Justin Timberlake bought that? And it makes me laugh when people say, MySpace. I laugh or I go, what is that? It's like saying yahoo.com for an email. I go, what? That's still a thing.
That still have Yahoo.
That is
What's wrong with that?
It's so old-fashioned.
Email.
So old-fashioned.
Why? What's
just
difference?
Is. I'm sure it's not changed that much.
Well,
that's why a million of them just got hacked into, didn't they?
Yeah,
I can't believe there's a million people still. No, it's more than a million. Oh, it was a ridiculous number. I don't know. Really? That many people?
Laugh at you. Oh, you have Gmail.
No, I have a proper one for the business. Let me tell you about Gmail.
What?
I had a Gmail account before they released it.
Yeah, you were like Gmail pioneer.
Yeah.
You're Gmail groundbreaker.
The deal with Gmail, let me tell you what people seem to have forgotten, because the storage is amazing, is that you were meant to archive everything and not delete everything. I can go back years and I can think, oh, that company, blah, 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 blah. I know they sent me some info and I typed their name in and boom, it's there. Did you know that?
I like to clean my mail.
I know you do. I do things in a different way.
Mm.
But we do have a real company email as well. We also have a blog. The blog is the rockandrolldog.com. I'm going to be doing a wrap-up blog post for the end of this year. And I better get on it since it's New Year's Eve. I need to get on that. It's with the highlights for the entire year. And it's nice to look back because if you're so busy, you just forget, what you've done. And, thank goodness we all take 1 million photographs because that's a great catalogue of happenings in the year. So do you ever look back, Jim, on your photos? I do.
I put them on the computer, and then every once in a while I think about something and I look for a photo. There's so many that I get overwhelmed.
Yeah, there are.
I don't like too many things around me.
But I do love taking photos and video. I just love it. And, I just discovered on Facebook Live, they have, on Snapchat, they have the filters.
I don't know
with
that.
Oh, no, you don't. With the deer face and stuff. Facebook Live have them. They're not as cute, though. They make you look a bit scary. The panda one's really creepy. So, yeah, you can find us anywhere on the internet, essentially. Just find us at Vegas Rock Dog or Vegas Rock Dog Radio. And next year, 2017, we're going to freshen some things up. Yay! We're going to freshen some things up. And we're looking forward to streaming the show. Just streaming the show through the week. Yeah, not live streaming, but streaming past shows that we've done because the content is still great and the guests are just fabulous. And then Saturdays we're live as usual, 10 a.m. I'm probably going to put another live show in, just trying to figure out which day of the week we'd like to do that on. But if you actually don't catch the show when it's live, no problem, because of course we will be streaming it and you can find it on iTunes and iHeartRadio as well. So we make it very, very easy for you to listen for the first time or listen again. Or again and again and again. Well, one of the shows that I love to listen to, and it makes me laugh, is the show I did with Odie. Remember when I did the show with Odie?
Yeah, I remember.
So
you did a couple shows with Odie.
I did.
Though.
Now, Odie has no eyes, and he's very popular on Instagram. And his name is Odie's Eyes, even though he has no eyes. And he's very, very witty and very, very funny. And he's got to be, 37,000 followers now, I think, on Instagram.
It's huge.
He's popular. He's a little character. And I was just listening to the show today, and it really made me laugh. But it was also a very informative show for anyone that has a pet who is blind, losing its sight, or you have to have the eyes removed and you're very worried and nervous about what's to come and should you do it and how do you handle it and how do you move forward. And it's a very good show for that. So I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do 24 hours of Odie. That's what I'm going to call it. We'll put the show on a loop. 24 hours of
all
Odie.
day long.
All day long. Odie all day long. I think that would be fun. And then his mega fans can listen in and catch that in a 24-hour period. I think that would be fun. So what else are we moving on to, Jim? You know what? I'm thinking, I really, 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 really like this story. And this is from your home state, Jim.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah. The very first drive-through restaurant for dogs is now open.
Where? Where in Pennsylvania?
Easton. Are you familiar with it?
No, I'm familiar with Western Pennsylvania.
No, Easton.
Easton.
Not Eastern. Easton.
Easton is in the eastern part.
Easton.
Is in the eastern part.
It is?
Yeah.
So not only can you pick up dinner, coffee, dry cleaning, or get married as we do in Vegas through a drive-through, you can now pick up meals and snacks for your dogs. Do you like that, Jim?
I would do it.
Can you pass me my phone? Your phone. I want to show you something on your phone.
No, I had to check something very important. That's why I was on it. So you're not going to steal it from me. I'm doing a little music business on the side, and I need that communication device.
Oh, it's all gonna go awry in a minute. Get ready, people.
What do you mean awry?
It's all gonna go awry. So, yeah, and that's true. You can actually, I'm thinking if you can get married through a drive-through here, you probably can get divorced as well. You probably can get bailed out of jail, like a bail bonds drive-through as well.
You can go through drive-through divorce here.
Can you?
Yeah.
Does it happen that quick?
I don't know. Why, you want to go and see?
No, I don't want to check that out. No. No, thank you. So I just think it's normal then to have a drive-through for your dogs. And this place is called Bain & Vader's Drive-Through. It's their flagship store. They opened it back in October. And you can choose from a variety of fresh grains, proteins, vegetables, and extras. And you get to create a tasty meal that meets the dietary needs of your dogs. And there are 3 different sizes of Bow Wow bowls. Of course there is. Small, medium, large. And it goes on the weight of your dog. I really like that idea. You start with the protein. And you can choose chicken, turkey, salmon, or ground beef. Very nice. 2 side vegetables. It's like going through a drive-thru. I love blah, 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 blah. What sides would you like? Oh, what have we got? Oh, we got carrots, peas, red cabbage, spinach, green beans, squash, or broccoli. And then you get to choose a grain, and it can be white rice, brown rice, lentils, or bran. Yeah. Yeah.
And you get to mix and match. Or you just get single items.
You get to mix and match. You choose your protein, your vegetables, and your...
Then what if you want to eat too? Can you get your own food there?
You totally could. But I don't think your dog's going to let you sneak off their plate. Seriously. They're going to say, get your own. There are other options like grain-free and raw. I love that idea. I love this idea. And I tell you who came up with this. It was Amanda Brown. She's the owner. I say it's called Bane Invaders, and it's named after her 2 English bulldogs. There's also fruits available and very special add-ons, so you can choose like apples, cantaloupes, ugh, I can't stand them, blueberries and watermelon, ugh, can't stand watermelon, but my dogs love it. And you can get scoops of yogurt, how do you pronounce it, Jim?
Yogurt.
Eggs, peanut butter, ugh, pumpkin, and cottage cheese. Seriously, if you don't want to cook for yourself, you can get your dog's dinner and your own. Oh my gosh, I think it's brilliant. And I think it's a really good option for anyone.
I think the car would be a mess, and I don't think...
you'd panic about that. I know you would.
I think we could do that in your car.
I don't care. We can do it in my car. It's fine with me. I don't care if they make a mess. I do think it's a fantastic option to anyone who prefers to feed a fresh, living or raw food diet. I think it's brilliant because, some people don't want to do the prep. And so that takes all the prep out of it. And I really hope they get to expand. They said they want to expand across the country. I really hope they pick Vegas next. It's like, come on, do it. So I think that's a great idea, Jim.
I do.
He didn't mention anything about prices. But hey, to have that convenience.
Oh, it's going to be expensive, I guarantee.
So, well, I mean, we went to eat the vegan drive-thru, and that was expensive, wasn't it?
Sure was.
I don't know. My dogs are worth it. I'd rather spend more money on them than myself anyway, in all honesty. Yeah? Okay. Give me that phone.
No, I'm not.
Give me that phone.
No, I'm not. Continue on with your going to a dog drive-thru and getting my car all messed up. I already know that's how it's going to go.
Jim gets upset when I eat anything in the car.
I have a thing for a nice, clean space. The car is like a sanctuary to me, and I don't like...
But you can't let it ruin your life if I drop a crumb.
Then we won't eat in it.
You see?
This is like the ages-old argument.
You've got to live life, Jim.
No, you could live life outside your car, outside my car. You could live life in your car, which is messy.
Live recklessly, Jim.
Women and men are very different.
Throw abandon to the wind.
When it comes to how they care for their cars, women and men are very different. And almost to a man, my men friends love their cars and they keep their interiors clean. And women keep their interiors not so clean.
That's rude.
Anyone can call.
Well, maybe mine's not as clean because you refuse to have the dogs in your car most of the time. So you.
What happened the last time a Galaxy was in my car?
Right. So this comes back to the vegan drive-thru. Jim got his new car. We had Galaxy with us. We went to the vegan drive-thru, and she decided to go through drive-thru and throw up on the back seat.
All over.
And on the carpet. Like a lot. So he figured his car actually probably makes her feel sick. Not so much mine.
Yeah, the car moves differently.
Yeah, and we think it made her sick because she's never sick in the car. So we think it was his car. It was christened that day with vomit. Don't shake your head. Don't shake your head.
I'm not speaking now.
You know what? Let's take another quick break. And then you can finish your business on the phone. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs. We'll be right back.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Welcome to Barking Dogs Self-Wash and Grooming, your one-stop shop for all of your pet's needs. We offer premium natural pet foods, full-service grooming, and an on-site bakery and boutique. You can choose to self-wash your dog or schedule a luxury pampering with our professional groomers. Our new Cool Cat section offers feline food, toys, bedding, and litter, while the adventurous dog department has everything you need for your outdoor activities. Cody's Healing Garden is a special place featuring flower, aromatherapy, and herbal remedies for pets. Ask us about Karma Connection, our program supporting animal rescue. Find us at barkingdogslv.com and look for us on Facebook and Twitter. We look forward to seeing you at Barking Dogs Self-Wash and Grooming.
Hello, this is Jim and Sam from Vegas Rock Dog.
We've been styling dogs and their humans since 2005, and no matter what size your dog is, we can give your best friend the bark and roll look that will make them stand out from the rest of the pack.
Vegas Rock Dog has a fantastic collection of tank tops, dresses, sweaters, jackets, collars, and ties for your dog.
And for you, the owner, there are rock and roll tanks and tees and great accessories. Wearing Vegas Rock Dog makes you look and feel like a rock star, and that's why everyone loves our gear, including Hollywood celebrities.
So grab your leash and go to vegasrockdog.com or find us on Twitter and Facebook at Vegas Rock Dog.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
And we're back, everyone. I was just looking through this past year's shows. We've had some really, really interesting guests on the show. Who was your most interesting favorite guest, Jim, this year, would you say?
June.
Who's June?
Hedgehog.
Oh,
Joan.
Oh, that was the year before.
No, it wasn't. It was this year.
No, it wasn't. It was the year before. I know, that's how quickly
No.
Yeah, because we were in the other studio.
We weren't in... No, we were in this location.
No. We were in the old studio.
I don't believe that.
Actually, while we're at it, let's talk about Joan, because we love Joan.
Yep. Joan the Hedgehog, Lady of the World.
She's the West Midlands Hedgehog Rescue in England. And she's in the throes of hedgehog season right now. And
what, it's winter, aren't they hibernating?
No, well, she's got some that are out. If you find them out in the day, they're in danger, yeah. And she's been nursing them back to health and actually getting them to put weight on, because they have to hit, if I'm not wrong, 400 grams, because if they don't get to that weight, they don't survive. And she works 18 hours a day. That is no joke. No wonder she drinks a lot of Lambrini.
Does she put them back in the wild? Do they survive in the wild after they've been tamed?
Yeah, she's not taming them. She's not training them and taming them. They're in the hospital.
Taming them?
Shut up. They're in the hospital.
I'm not going to say that word.
That's what she calls it. It's called the hospital.
That's okay.
I think it's the cutest name for a hospital for hedgehogs.
I'm not going to say that.
Say
name.
it.
No.
Say it.
I can't.
Go on.
Because I don't say words like that.
Say it. You too.
No.
Say hospital.
I'm not. You say. You could say. You've said it 10 times already.
The listeners will.
The listeners don't want to hear me say it because I cannot say that.
Do it again.
Sprinkle.
Do it again.
Sprinkle.
She does a fantastic job. The website is full of resources, what you can do to help hedgehogs, what you need to do when you find one, and of course most people call Joan. She won a very nice award for her work with hedgehogs, along with some pretty big names like Bill Oddie from the Goodies, which if you're from England you'll remember Bill Oddie, and also Brian May from Queen. Yeah,
he's not into hedgehogs.
He's badgers.
He's a badger.
He's a badger guy. And so, she's in great company. And these are people she knows. Yeah, she's fantastic. But it's the West Midlands Hedgehog Rescue. And since it's the end of the year, if you want to make a donation, you can head over to their website and do so. But the work's wonderful. And she's very funny and very much in love with hedgehogs. So, yeah, even though it wasn't this year, I'm still in touch with her. I think she's fantastic. I
swear it was this year. It seems like it was just a few months ago.
I know. It's because we like her so much. She's just stayed in the forefront of our minds because her work's great. And I say this time of year, she's very, very busy. Let's have a thing. What else? Oh, gosh, I completely forgot we did this.
I enjoyed our talk with Kelly Eisen, and
I like Kelly Eisen from Einstein's Pets. Yeah.
And I enjoyed, Cat Spay Doctor. famous lady.
Oh, you mean
Dr. Halligan.
Yeah, Dr. Karen Halligan, but that wasn't a radio interview. That was one of our
in studio.
One of our TV episodes, which we have yet to release, and that's going to be 2017. Who else did we speak to that we really liked? Oh, our friend Carol Bryant from 5 Days of Reality, because we went out to New York to her big Wiggle Butts Uncorked fundraiser for animal rescue, and it was a gala like no other gala.
It's a gala.
It's a gala.
People don't understand. They will say, "What is she saying?"
It's okay. You can translate.
I will say the regular word every time you say it.
Okay, you can do the translations. That's good. It's a nice little service you're providing there, Jim. But
yes, you're welcome.
But wasn't that a nice gala?
It was a very important gala.
It was a very important gala because, one, we raised a lot of money for animal rescue. But I love to dress up, and you could take your pets with you, and it didn't just have to be dogs. You could take cats, because I tell you who was there was
the couture cat.
Coco, the couture cat, was there in the most fabulous couture gown and hat you've ever seen, and she changed her outfit quite a few times, but it was a beautiful event, wasn't it? So I cannot wait to the announcement of the next one. Please be on the West Coast. That's all I'm saying. Although I'd never been to the New York area at all, and I really enjoyed it.
It was excellent.
Yeah,
it was right before spring bloomed too, so we were catching the end of winter. Yeah,
it was just one of the best trips I think we've ever done. And you know what, you don't mind spending the money if you feel like you're getting a little, holiday out of it, and you actually help with animals at the same time. I think they're the best trips to take where you actually can make a difference. Another guest I really loved, it's a friend of ours, is Stacey James of Dazzle Africa.
Oh, yeah.
And
Stacey's a local staple.
She is, and you were friends with her dad first.
Yeah, I played in her dad's big band.
Yeah. And she has Dazzle Africa. It's an advocacy group. And she went out to Africa to on a safari. Well, not a safari. What do they call it? A retreat. Yeah. And once she got out there, started to learn about poachers and what they were doing to the animals. And she started a foundation, basically, with some other founders. And it's become a reality. And what they do is they pay for a vet so they can look after any animals that have been poached or, they've attempted to, kill them. And they pay for education in the schools so that they can educate the kids that poaching is not the way to go. I mean, they do a lot of good. And what she does at these trips, these retreats back out to Africa, and that's where you get to, of course, enjoy Africa and all the animals in their natural environment, but also help while you're out there as well. And I think there's a big yoga component to that.
Don't you know some people here locally that went and did one of those retreats as well with her?
Yeah, it was...
it wasn't Stephanie,
No, it was Dorothy. Dorothy went out there. She met her through us. And next thing you know, she went on the retreat. She was one of the most magical experiences of her life, she told me. So I'm really pleased about that. I like it when great people get together, especially if they're both your friends and they become friends. Another great one was Rachel Roberts, Levi, of One Family Animal Sanctuary here in Las Vegas. She's the only sanctuary that takes on what's the word? Livestock. She'll take cows, she'll take pigs. She takes on horses, of course, any other animal as well. But she's the only one that really will take, the larger animals on her farm.
Even the local farm sanctuary, they take them.
Who's that?
The farm sanctuary.
That's what I'm talking about.
I thought you were talking about something else.
Oh, goodness me.
I mean, with the 2 cows that we visited.
No, they closed down a long time ago. Yeah.
That's the one
No.
They're closed.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there was
what happened to the cows?
Some chaos went on over there. I don't really know the full story.
We donate a lot of things to them.
I know. I'm just really glad that Rachel has her place. And she lives there as well. So it's not open. It's not one of these places you just show up, but she does have a lot of fundraising events at the property itself. She does a wonderful job. I have to take my hat off to her because, when you're taking a horse, you're taking on a big expense as well. Both veterinary expenses and food and those kind of things. So I do thank her for that. Another great one, Bernard Lima Chavez.
You call him Llama.
I did call him Llama.
He's probably going to listen and call you on that.
Bernard Llama. I just did. I need to write that blooper down so I don't forget. Bernard Llama. Oh my gosh. Last week, what did I call the feral cats? Feral carrots. That was my blooper last week.
You mix up words sometimes.
I do. Bernard Lima Chavez of Dog and His Boy. Great blog. He's a trainer and an advocate for deaf dogs. Amazing guy. Very funny. And you can find, we can find them all on Facebook. Odie, of course, we talked about earlier. Great guest. Alicia, his mom, she owns Healing Habitat. She's a pet communicator as well. So, hey, isn't that perfect? Your mom's a pet communicator, so she can communicate with Odie very well. We also had Jenny Lewis and Pixel Blue Eyes. Remember we had them on the show?
Mm-hmm.
Jenny Lewis is an advocate for, raising awareness about the dangers of docking tails because her own dog, Pixel Blue Eyes, suffers from having a tail docked where there's just continuous lifetime pain and sensitivity. And there are surgeries that can be done to correct it somewhat so they don't have so much pain. But usually if a tail is docked, sometimes that little bit of the bone is left behind. And it just leaves it open to be sensitive and having pain.
Terrible.
I know that Pixel was having a little bit of pain this week, so there's a lot of pain management. So she really wanted to bring awareness to that.
We grew up with a Schnauzer, and they dock Schnauzer tails.
Terrible.
And interesting because she always had a crookedness to her run and her gait.
Well, I mean, you're taking, parts of them away.
They balance.
And it's not natural.
It's their balancing mechanism.
And it's like declawing. It's the same thing. It's amputation, pain, continuous pain for the rest of their life, and sensitivity, and not being able to walk naturally, which is terrible. Why would you take that away from your animals? Ear docking, same thing. Yeah, we need to really get more of this word out.
I think they call ear dock. It's ear cropping.
Yeah, that's right.
Tail docking, ear cropping,
it's all
declawing.
It's all mutilation. That's what it is, and you should not do that to your pets. We need to get away from the aesthetics.
Well, I think that some of the even show breeds are now having a different look at some of the dogs, like the Great Danes and the Dobermans and the Schnauzers, and they're not. They're having their floppy ears and their long tails.
I really hope so too, because it's.
But then the Jack Russell was docked on purpose because that was how they wouldn't injure them if they went down a foxhole.
Yeah, but then you just permanently injure them by chopping the tails off because they always hurt and they have sensitivity. I mean, but that was many moons ago. People need to stop that. Tradition doesn't mean it's okay. Lots of traditions are very cruel.
You're right.
And tradition is not a reason to keep it.
Right.
I love tradition, you know me. But if it's, it's like saying, hanging was tradition. Let's keep it.
Nothing wrong with that. I was thinking more like bullfighting.
Well, that's going away, though. Oh, I mean, and I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime, but there's a change. There is a social change. People say, no, this is not acceptable. It's time for it to go. And I love it. And I've seen it where you've got two guys in a big giant foam bull costume, big, huge, running down the streets chasing people.
Do they get stabbed?
No, that's in place of.
Oh.
That's what they're doing. Instead of doing running the bulls, it's just two guys in a foam thing, and it's hilarious. And it's not hurting any animals, so I'm all for that.
Rodeos, circuses, bullfights.
All needs to go. Greyhound racing, we need to cover that as well next year.
Dog racing.
Yeah, all that needs to, Frown on it, people. Frown on it when you see it. Frown on it.
Sport hunts.
I think that's how. It's funny because people don't want society to have opinions, but it's opinions that let you know that's not cool. You can't do that. That's horrible. That's not being decent.
I don't begrudge hunters, but I begrudge sport hunters.
Oh, let's not go down that path today.
Trophy hunting.
I don't like any hunting, period. You know that.
That's part of mankind where we have some disagreements.
Back when you lived in a cave. We don't. I don't know many people in this country who hunt to live. I really don't.
I mean, these can go very far. You can go to industrial farming and.
Oh, that's another thing that we're going to definitely talk about next year. Is
It's
farming.
It's shocking how man in his modern age has turned to industrial means of production of food, and some of it's not very pretty.
It's terrible. But we will cover that next year because that's it's funny, you know. Sometimes you ask kids, where does this come from, or how does that grow? Where does a carrot come from? They don't even know it comes from the ground. They just think it comes out of a can or a plastic bag from the supermarket. So, you know, the lots of people do not know how meat ends up on their plate. And if they did know, they'd be shocked. But we'll cover that. We're going to cover, because you know in this show we cover it all, warts and all, happy and the shocking. But we're not here to gloss over those things, because once you know, you can make some great informed decisions. The next one that we talked to was Harley's Hope. Remember them? Harley's Hope Foundation, where they're a little bit like us with Rocking for Rescues, where we raise money to help shelters and rescues, and they also help individuals as well. So that was a great interview. Then we also had, let's have a look here. Let's have a look. Oh, Christina Lee with Deaf Dogs Rock.
Oh yeah,
that was good. And she Skyped with us from
my new Facebook
from
friend.
her farm, Bluebird Farm. Oh gosh, I want to live on a farm. It's so gorgeous. It's everything you want a farm to be in your mind. That's exactly how that farm is built and decorated. It is gorgeous. And what they do is Deaf Dogs Rock. They got their first deaf dog not too many years ago, and they decided they wanted to be a resource and be able to help other deaf dogs and deaf dog owners and dogs that were in shelters that were deaf. And I think she's got over 50,000 people on her Facebook page. She is like the premier, organization for raising funds for them.
You better talk to Galaxy. Looks like she's trying to ruin that expensive dog bed.
Oh, Gigi Pants.
She's trying.
Gigi Pants.
Get her settled. On. She's going to put a hole in that dog bed. We're going to have to ask a sponsor to replace it.
It was not cheap either. It's one of those fabulous ones, the bolsters, and it's actually like leopard print. It's
You're
crazy.
not stopping her. She's still doing it. Stop her.
Oh, my goodness. We had an experience in Vegas not long ago. I'd posted a video.
She's not happy with you.
I'd posted a video of some dogs that had been confiscated from someone. And Christina's seen the video, and she spotted straight away. She goes, there's some deaf dogs there. Can you find out who's got the dogs, and we'll see if we can sponsor some of them into a rescue. And I said, yep. And as it was, I happened to know the person. Gigi. She's really wrecking this bed. It was expensive. Don't worry, I'll buy you another one if you ruin it. Leave her. She can do whatever she wants.
She can put her head down.
Let me finish my story.
Oh, my God.
There's a big distraction going on here. She finally settled down without wrecking it.
She's looking with those evil eyes.
So this is, someone that has a deaf dog, she knew exactly they were deaf dogs because the way they moved and the way they looked. So I got hold of the person who had the connection with how they were confiscated, and basically, to cut a long story short, they ended up getting transported to a deaf dogs rescue in California with the help of Deaf Dogs Rock by way of sponsorship. And it was just that's what happened in a Sunday afternoon on Facebook, and it was wonderful. It just felt so good that I think it's a very small world. And
how many were there?
I think there were 5 in total. I think there were 5 that were actually deaf. So they all got to be where they were meant to be so they could go into proper homes. But that was just a great afternoon's work, and, some communication, and we were all connected, and it was great. It was really, really great. Stephen Wells, one of my favorite interviews of the entire year for me, of Animal Legal Defense Fund. This is a massive organization of attorneys that work on behalf of animals, and you'll know some of their work from SeaWorld and some of these, what we call sideshow, roadside circuses, people claiming to be sanctuaries when they're not. And they have great success. So if you're someone that's in the legal field, want to be an attorney and you love animals, you can marry them together. Check out Animal Legal Defense Fund. One of my absolute favorite interviews, and the first one I ever did was someone on a yacht on the ocean. Brilliant. Another one was my favorite was Richard Hunter. Richard Hunter is a radio sports guy, and he also reported continuously on Michael Vick and the cruelty cases, and eventually he adopted one of Michael Vick's dogs, and he brought Mel into the studio, and that was an absolute honor. And what a great guy! And he's like me. He's not prepared to let it go, as people would tell me to do. Oh, he did his time, blah blah blah. No, he didn't. Didn't do any time for the animals. He only did time for financial crimes. And like I said to Richard, I had a kindred spirit in him, because he's not letting it go either. He wanted the full story out there, and the cruelty was unbelievable, and the murdering of dogs was unbelievable. And so I felt relieved that he was the same as me. Like, nope, not gonna let it go. And I always said, this is the sentence that we kind of bestowed upon him, from the public, when he didn't actually have a sentence. So, oh well, don't kill animals and torture them, and you won't have any problems. That's how that goes.
We're the dog food guy.
Which dog food guy?
The dog food movie guy.
Oh, Pet Food, yes. We had Cole Harrington, which we talked about on the top of the show. Again, I think that's going to be a big topic for 2017.
That's like a leading man's name.
It's a great name, isn't it, Jim?
Starring Cole Harrington.
Yes, I think it's great. I think it's really, really great. And I think another very good interview we had was with Kimberly Morris. Kimberly Morris Gauthier of Keep the Tail Wagging blog. And this is someone who just basically blogged her own experience of bringing her dogs onto a raw diet. And she actually took a lot of the guesswork out of it for you. She's the one that jumped the hurdles and figured things out. And now she has this incredibly popular blog, a very big community on Facebook. And she comes from a perspective of, hey, I'm just a pet parent and this is how I did it. So she doesn't claim to be a nutritionist, although I think she might be going through some kind of certification or educational component. But she also...
That's certification for you American listeners.
Okay. So she...
I have to tell them.
Okay.
It's a job.
So she is... but she communicates a lot with the top people in the pet nutrition world, so Dr. Karen Becker, Rodney Habib. So she's gathering. It's a passion. It's become a major passion for her, and the dogs are doing so incredibly well. And all these ailments they had, and arthritis, and skin conditions, all gone because she put them all on a raw food diet. And she gave some very practical advice and answered a lot of questions that I think most people have about raw diets. Is it expensive? Will it take a lot of time? Will it gross me out? Will they have bacteria? Will they be able to process this? How much do I give them? I mean, just a great interview, and that was with Kimberly. So we're going to have a lot of these really great interviews. We're going to have those out on streaming on our radio show. So
and we should have a lot of these people back on it. They shouldn't just be one and done.
Oh no, we definitely need to bring people back. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll reach out to some of them.
Well, especially like nutrition, because we're learning more and more, so there will be updates. And
Kelly and her treat company in Florida.
Yes, yeah, oh yeah, and she's she's right on the money when it comes to healthy treats for pets, really healthy treats for pets. Mm-hmm. Well, I have one more thing to cover, Jim, before the end of the show.
What is that?
Well, since it's New Year's Eve, how do you keep
It's New Year's Eve.
No, it's New Year's Eve now. What time are you on?
I always get it confused because Christmas Eve is not the holiday, but Christmas Day is. But New Year's Eve is the holiday, but New Year's Day isn't.
Oh, and then for us, you throw in a Boxing Day, and Jim's all over the place.
Yeah, I get all messed up. I just need to take a nap.
Well, I don't know if you'll get time for a nap, because today we're going for a very nice lunch at Mon Ami Gabi at Paris Hotel. Not in Paris.
I hope they don't shut the strip down.
I don't think they shut the strip until 6 p.m. 4 p.m.
4 p.m. downtown, 6 p.m. strip.
Yeah, if you don't know this, 300,000 people will descend upon Las Vegas to celebrate New Year's Eve.
And God bless them all, because it's going to be really cold, and I don't want to be around crowds.
And it rained, so it's going to be a little bit damp. I don't know if there's going to be more rain later on. I'm not even sure, but what we're doing is we're going to we're going to have our French lunch, and then we're going to the Crown and Anchor pub, which is the British pub owned by my friend June. And at 4 p.m. we will celebrate the British New Year, because the atmosphere is amazing in the pub. And it's perfect for those of us that want to then spend the evening inside with their pets.
And then in the evening, we will watch Anderson and Kathy Griffin.
Oh, are they doing it again this year?
Yeah, they're a team now.
Oh, they're a team. So that's we celebrate twice, and it's fun. We get to be with the dogs, and it's great. But there are some things that you need to consider when it comes to New Year's Eve celebrations, and it comes to your pets. Here we go. It's all right, Jim. I'm just going to let the show run since it's the end of the year. We can do that. Yay. Ooh, let's be rebellious, Jim.
I didn't say a word.
Let's do a longer show than normal.
Go on then.
All right, then. So this is actually a blog post I wrote last year. The information is still the same, still relevant and helpful. No doubt you're going to celebrate the ringing in of the new year, and possibly celebrating at home with family and friends. With celebrations in the home comes preparation not only for your party, but for your pet's safety and sanity. In fact, it'll help your sanity too. Celebrations are fun for humans and not so much fun for our furry family members. There's lots of planning for the dinner and for visiting family and friends, and it's at times like these when your pets can be a little bit neglected, and it's times like these when you need to pay extra special attention to them. There are many ways in which you can prevent accidents and fatalities that can easily happen at this time of year, very easily. First of all, stay as calm as you can throughout all of your planning, because people get manic, and once you've got this manic atmosphere, everybody's manic, including your pets. Were you going to have some words of wisdom there? No?
No, I'll choose to not speak to that subject.
So keep calm through your planning for your New Year celebrations. And that's not meant to be funny. You are supposed to stay calm.
I'm just looking at you about staying calm.
That's me.
About taking your own advice.
That's me.
Take your own advice.
Recruit as much help
Don't shout at husbands during holidays.
Recruit as much help.
It's true.
Recruit as much help as you can from your family. This helps keep stress levels to a minimum, in turn lowering your pet's stress levels, and it's worth taking a few deep breaths. Ensure that you know where your pet is at all times, particularly when you answer the door to greet your guests. That's my biggest fear. A tip is to tell your guests that you alone will be answering the door to prevent your pet from having the opportunity to run out of the house. And so put all of your guests' purses in a room away when they show up. And you don't want your pet's inquisitive noses diving into their purses, because there's all manner of problems that could happen with a purse and a pet. And if you have small children coming over to the house, do not leave your dog and the children unattended ever. Small children
or your chickens. Like my brother shouldn't leave his chickens unattended in the backyard.
No, you shouldn't. You're right.
Go on. Sorry.
Okay.
This came into my head.
Small children are generally noisy and often do not have the skills to appropriately interact with a pet, especially dogs. And your dog may not have spent time with any small children, and this could end in a situation with a child getting a dog bite. And if you cannot be with your dog at all times, assign a family member or a friend to keep an eye on your dog, or create a safe, secure area. I'm more for the latter, really. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm going to offer someone's dog a treat or some food, I always ask the pet parent if it's okay. You never know if someone's dog is allergic to certain foods or simply not permitted to eat them. In a perfect world, everyone would ask, but you are more than likely to encounter one of your guests feeding your dog without asking. My advice would be to inform all of your guests not to feed your dog for safety reasons, and that would also include any drinks. Or you can just say, hey, they're on a special diet, don't give them anything. Yeah, because that way you're going to avoid some problems. And you'll avoid any kind of food or alcohol poisoning, and alcohol poisoning is a big one. Alternatively, you can prepare a small treat jar that your guests can use, and it'll also get them into your dog's good graces when your guests arrive. Hey, here are the treats. My dog will be your best friend now. So let's move on to
like a fire extinguisher for Mr. Twix.
What's that, Jim?
Keep a treat jar around to make sure Mr. Twix stays on point with strangers.
Okay, what's the fire extinguisher bit?
That's a good idea. It's like kind of an emergency device to achieve the result.
It is for a lot of pets.
I kind of like that now. I'm going to think about it.
I got that idea from Pam Webb. Pam Webb gave me that idea. So I can't take credit for that. Let's move on to the kitchen. Keep your trash secure where your pet cannot get into it in any way possible. You can get a locking trash can like we have from Simple Human. Fantastic. Works. Brilliant. Sharp can lids, mesh from a roast, and food and certain foods are dangerous. Sometimes they're fatal. Place your foods at the very back of your countertop where your pets cannot get up there, and keep them clear from the oven. And it's a good idea to simply put up a baby gate to keep the kitchen off limits to your pets. That's it. Solved. Da-da-da. Easy. So the countdown of the New Year's clock is typically coupled with fireworks, and they're super scary for pets. Take the time to prepare a room for your pet with music, toys, and a delicious treat. And your goal is to convince your pet that there are no fireworks. Nothing to see or hear here. Carry on. Keep calm and carry on.
Or you could buy that way hella expensive calming box. Have you seen that?
Oh, that looks really. It sounds horrible the way that, but it's not a box. It's like a very very fancy.
It's a vibrating calming crate.
It's like a fancy little dog house, isn't it? And it vibrates. It's got a comfy pad inside, and there's something else, isn't there?
We need to get one of those.
I'll put you in it.
I'll put you in
so
it
and
lock the key up.
So giving them their own little space and just distractions, it's a very good thing. And always have your vet's telephone number at hand, but the plan is to never have to use it. It's a must, as well as the emergency vet and the poison control centre numbers as well. Should you suspect your pet ate something dangerous, do not hesitate to get to the vet. And if there's a case of bloat, it will not rectify itself. So just get yourself off there as quick as you can. A vet needs to treat that immediately. And so in a nutshell, make your pet an important part of New Year's Eve festivities. Ask your family and friends to help with you with their safety and take the necessary precautions. Take the necessary precautions to make your home extra safe, going from one year into the next for your four-legged furry friends. Or you might have a three-legged dog or a three-legged cat. Basically, your pets.
Or you could just go to somebody else's house party.
Oh, that's the best. That is the best. Take a nice gift. And all is well. But, whenever there's fireworks, though, we always make sure we're home, don't we, Jim?
Yeah.
Like, gotta go home. Sorry.
Fireworks holidays now or stay home with the dog holidays.
Yeah.
And keep the lights off so nobody knocks on your door.
Yeah. You don't need that either. Well, Jim, we have come to the end of the show. At the end of the year, literally.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
It's the fastest year ever of life.
It's gone very quickly. I want to thank you for listening to the show this entire year. Without you, the show would not be what it is. Our year was filled with special guests, and we thank them for caring about animals and coming on the show to share their passions. They're all making a difference. We have an amazing 2017 plan just for you. And Jim and I would like to wish you and your pets a happy new year, a healthy new year, and a year that's filled with lots of love and kisses. As I say, 2017, we're excited about it, aren't we, Jim?
We are.
Got lots planned.
Out with the old.
In with the new. So remember, you can help an animal in need, either rescue, adopt, donate, volunteer, or share their information, or make a donation since at the end of the year. You'll feel good about that. Rescue your next family member, replace the word shop with adopt, and be kind to all animals. Today, you've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio, where it's all about pets, people, and pop culture. I'm your host, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs, and always kiss your pets good morning and good night. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Shut up and sit down.
You've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.